There's a secret most women don't realize about attraction. It's not in how you look, what you say, or how nice you are. It's in your vibration. Yes, your energy is what draws him in, keeps him thinking about you, and makes you unforgettable long after you leave the room. Let's get something straight. Men don't obsess over women who chase, perform, or beg for attention. They obsess over women who carry themselves like they already are the prize. Women who walk into a room and shift the energy just by being present. Women whose calm, radiant, grounded presence speaks louder than any text, outfit, or flirty move. That's high vibrational energy, and it's magnetic. It doesn't demand attention. It commands it. It doesn't compete for love. It receives it. It doesn't chase energy. It attracts everything in alignment. In this video, I'm going to show you why being high vibrational is the most powerful move you can make in your dating life, and exactly how to step into that energy starting today. If you're tired of inconsistent men, tired of feeling like you have to prove your worth, and tired of being passed over while less aligned women get chosen, you need to hear this. Because once you tap into your high vibration, you stop being an option. You become an experience. Not just someone he wants to date, but someone he can't stop thinking about. This isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about returning to your most powerful, radiant, magnetic self, the version of you that naturally attracts high-quality love without losing your peace. Ready to unlock that energy? Let's dive in. When you operate from low vibration, your entire world starts to reflect a version of love that feels unstable, unfulfilling, and anxiety-inducing. You might not even realize it, but the way you think, feel, and act in relationships begins to center around fear. Fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of not being good enough. And the moment your energy shifts into that space, everything changes. The men you attract aren't grounded, emotionally available, or ready to love. They're inconsistent, avoidant, and sometimes manipulative, not because you're not worthy of something better, but because your energy is tolerating and attracting that behavior. Low vibration is sneaky. It convinces you to ignore the moments when you feel anxious, waiting for his reply. It makes you think that if you just love harder, stay longer, or prove your value, he'll see you. But love that requires proving is never love at all. It's performance. And performance always leads to exhaustion. When your energy is low, it doesn't matter how beautiful or intelligent you are. What men feel is uncertainty. They sense the part of you that doubts herself, the part that's secretly afraid she's too much or not enough. And instead of chasing you, they start pulling away, or worse, breadcrumbing you, just enough to keep you stuck. Operating from low vibration also makes you hyper-reactive. You read into every word, overanalyze every message, and twist yourself into someone you think he'll want. You abandon your voice just to maintain a connection that was never stable to begin with. You give second, third, and fourth chances because you're hoping that the version of him you fell for will return. But what you're really doing is betraying yourself every time you choose potential over proof. Every time you shrink to fit someone's inability to rise, your vibration dips even lower. And perhaps the most painful part, you begin to feel like maybe this is all you're meant for. You start settling for almost love, for temporary attention, for lukewarm affection. You start believing that love is supposed to be hard, confusing, and painful. But that's the lie low vibration feeds you. Because true love doesn't feel like survival. It feels like safety. Low vibration disconnects you from your intuition. It makes you seek answers outside of yourself. You rely on signs, hope, and false promises to guide you instead of your own inner knowing. And that's how you lose power, by placing it in someone else's hands. But the moment you reclaim your energy, even just slightly, the entire dynamic begins to shift. The men who once felt appealing start to feel misaligned. The desire to chase fades, and your boundaries begin to feel like self-respect rather than loss. You were never meant to live in low vibration. That version of you is rooted in wounds, not truth. And the moment you remember who you are, that radiant, grounded, powerful woman, you stop attracting lessons and start receiving love. Real, reciprocal, soul-affirming love. And it all begins with an energetic shift. Are you ready to rise? Before a man falls for you, he doesn't fall for your looks, your resume, or your ability to do everything right. He falls for the energy you bring into his life. That energy, when it's high vibrational, is what makes a woman unforgettable. It's not loud or demanding. It's calm, soft, confident, and deeply secure. It's the kind of presence that doesn't need to convince, compete, or chase. because it already knows its value. A high vibrational woman has an emotional frequency that feels like peace to a man. It feels like home. It's not that she never gets upset or never has boundaries. It's that her emotions don't come from insecurity. They come from clarity. She doesn't seek to be chosen. She knows she's the prize, and that alignment is more important than attention. And when a man experiences that, it shakes him. It's different from what he's used to. It stands out in a world of noise, pressure, and performance. This energy shows up in the little things. It's in how she holds space for silence without needing to fill it. It's in how she listens, really listens, without trying to fix, impress, or interrupt. It's in the way she can walk away from anything that doesn't feel right without losing her sense of self. That kind of woman is a mystery, not because she hides who she is, but because she doesn't hand over all her power. She leaves room for a man to wonder, to pursue, to earn his place beside her. Before a man falls for her, he feels a difference in how he shows up. He realizes he's not being drawn to drama or chaos. He's being drawn to stability, softness, and self-assurance. He starts doing more, showing up consistently, because something in her makes him want to rise. Her energy is both an invitation and a mirror. It invites love in, but it also reflects where he stands. It makes him question the way he's been operating in relationships, because this isn't someone you take lightly. This is someone you respect. Her high vibrational energy doesn't just make him feel good. It makes him feel safe. Safe to be vulnerable, to be seen, to be challenged without ego. It doesn't come from manipulation or tactics. It comes from deep internal work. She's already filled her own cup, so she doesn't need him to complete her. She allows love, but she doesn't require it to feel whole. And men can feel the difference instantly. It's like gravity. He doesn't know why he thinks about her more than anyone else or why her presence lingers long after she's gone. It's because he's felt something rare, an emotional vibration that hits deeper than just chemistry. It's alignment. And once a man feels that energy, he doesn't just want her, he starts to fall. Because before a man loves you with his words, he connects to you through your frequency. That's what real attraction is. That's what makes love stick. There's a moment in every woman's journey when she realizes it's not about changing men, it's about changing her mindset. That's the shift that changes everything. It's not about becoming prettier, more agreeable, or more available. It's about stepping into a version of yourself that doesn't need to chase love because she is love. It's the mindset that says, if I have to fight to be seen, I'm in the wrong place. The moment you adopt that belief, your world rearranges itself. Not because the men change, but because you do. When you're stuck in old programming, your thoughts come from fear. You wonder if you're texting too much or too little. You panic when he pulls away. You read articles, ask friends, analyze every sign just to make sense of why love feels so hard. But once your mindset evolves, you stop trying to decode someone's lack of effort. Instead, you recognize that a lack of clarity is clarity. You stop justifying behavior that doesn't match your standards. You no longer get emotionally invested in potential. You wait for consistent action. That shift is powerful because it moves you from how can I make him like me to do I even want this energy in my life? And that question changes the entire dynamic. Men feel that shift. They sense when your self-worth is no longer on the table to be negotiated. And suddenly the same man who once gave you crumbs either rises to the occasion or gets replaced by someone who's already standing where you deserve him to be. Mindset is magnetic. When you believe you are worthy of deep, loyal, passionate love, your energy reflects that in every choice you make. You no longer tolerate the almost, the maybes, the emotional roller coasters. You realize love shouldn't feel like anxiety. It should feel like alignment. And the only way to attract that is to stop settling for anything less. You also stop internalizing rejection. When a man ghosts you, you don't spiral. You understand that someone's inability to recognize your value says nothing about your actual worth. You stop personalizing their emotional immaturity. You no longer try to earn love. You embody it. That's a mindset rooted in confidence, not control. You let go of the need to chase, to fix, to convince, because now you trust that what's meant for you will never need to be manipulated to stay. And here's the beautiful thing, when your mindset shifts, your energy follows. You walk differently. You speak with more softness. but more certainty. You set boundaries without guilt. You become the kind of woman who isn't just attractive, she's unforgettable. Not because she's loud, not because she tries to be, but because her energy is rare. It's peaceful, it's powerful, it's whole. That kind of mindset doesn't just change your relationships, it transforms your entire life. Because the love you attract from that place isn't something you chase, it's something that matches you. And once you experience that, you'll never settle for less again. When a woman is operating in a high vibration, everything about the way she moves, speaks, and responds changes. It's subtle but powerful. You don't have to hear her say a word. You can feel it in her energy. She's not performing. She's not trying to earn attention, prove her worth, or be more than she already is. She's just being, and that beingness is magnetic. It pulls in without effort. It captivates without trying. She's not desperate for love. She's selective about it. A high vibrational woman behaves differently because she's deeply rooted in her self-worth. She doesn't ask, why didn't he call? Or what did I do wrong? Her first question is, does this behavior align with how I deserve to be treated? That question alone shifts everything. She's not afraid to walk away when something feels off, not as punishment, but as self-respect. She doesn't abandon her standards just because she's lonely or attached. And she certainly doesn't keep accepting inconsistency, hoping it'll turn into commitment. She knows love doesn't have to be earned through struggle. It should arrive in peace and be maintained through truth. When she's interested in a man, she's open but not overexposed. She communicates with warmth, not pressure. She listens without trying to control the outcome. If he pulls away, she doesn't spiral. She leans back, takes space, and lets him show her who he is without chasing clarity. Her emotional regulation is her superpower. She doesn't use silence as a weapon or words as manipulation. She knows her presence alone is the test, not her effort. She also doesn't confuse chaos with chemistry. She's not drawn to men who trigger her insecurities just to feel something intense. She's learned that peace isn't boring, it's the new sexy. When a man shows consistency, respect, and depth, she doesn't sabotage it by overthinking. She receives it, she allows it, because she's done the inner work to believe she deserves it. High vibrational women behave differently in conflict too. They don't beg for reassurance, they express their needs clearly and walk away if they aren't met. Not because they're cold, but because they value harmony over attachment. They don't tolerate hot and cold dynamics. They don't cling to someone's potential. They respond to what is, not what they hope it could be. That alone filters out emotionally unavailable men without her having to lift a finger. She also protects her energy like it's sacred because it is. She knows that not everyone deserves access to her softness, her time, or her loyalty. She doesn't overextend herself to be liked. She honors her intuition. If something feels off, she trusts it. If a man's words and actions don't align, she doesn't wait around for them to sink. She removes herself quietly, confidently. The most stunning part, she does all of this, not to get a man to love her, but because she already loves herself. And that kind of energy, that's the energy men can't forget. That's high vibration in motion, calm, centered, and completely unbothered by anything that doesn't match her frequency. High value energy is magnetic, not because it tries to be, but because it naturally is. It doesn't chase, perform, or beg for validation. It simply radiates. When a woman moves through the world with high value energy, people feel it. Men notice it. She doesn't even have to speak to command attention. It's in the way she walks, the calm behind her eyes, the grace in how she holds her boundaries, and the peace she refuses to trade for temporary affection. High value energy is rooted in certainty, not arrogance, but deep self-trust. This is the kind of woman who doesn't base her confidence on how much attention she receives. She's magnetic because she's anchored in her own essence. She doesn't need to prove her worth. It's already felt by the way she carries herself. There's no insecurity running the show. She knows what she brings to the table, and she's okay eating alone until someone arrives who can match, not drain her vibration. What makes this energy irresistible is that it doesn't try to control outcome. A high-value woman can be wildly attracted to a man and still let go if she senses misalignment. That emotional detachment from desperation is powerful It makes a man stop in his tracks. He feels safe and drawn to her. Not because she needs him, but because she chooses from wholeness. And when a woman chooses from wholeness, everything changes. Her standards become non-negotiable. Her attention becomes precious. Her presence becomes a privilege, not a guarantee. You see, high-value energy doesn't tolerate confusion. She doesn't get addicted to mixed signals or feel flattered by inconsistent attention. She sees it for what it is and lets it go. Her peace is her priority, and that alone filters out men who are only looking for access, not depth. She's not interested in being an option. She is the standard, and because of that, she commands a different kind of pursuit, one that's rooted in respect, consistency, and clear intention. But perhaps the most magnetic part of high-value energy is that it holds duality. It's soft and firm, feminine and fierce, loving, but not foolish. She can be deeply nurturing, while also maintaining razor-sharp discernment. That blend makes her unforgettable. She's not easily swayed by flattery or chemistry. She watches how people move. She listens to what's not said. And if something doesn't feel aligned, she doesn't explain her worth. She exits with grace. Men are drawn to this energy because it awakens something in them. It challenges them to level up, not through pressure but through presence. They feel more grounded around her, more inspired, more intentional, because her energy is rare. It's not about looks or status. It's about frequency. And when a woman vibrates at that high-value level, she doesn't just turn heads, she changes the room. That's what makes high-value energy magnetic. It's not loud. It's not desperate. It's not performative. It's quiet confidence, deep alignment, and the unshakable knowing that she is not here to be chosen by everyone. She's here to attract what already recognizes her worth. There's something powerful about watching a woman shift from being overlooked to becoming the woman he can't stop thinking about. These stories aren't fantasies. They're transformations. And they all begin with one decision: choosing herself. One woman shared how she used to always be the one initiating texting first, suggesting plans, giving the benefit of the doubt when he disappeared for days. She thought being the easygoing one would make him stay. Instead, he started treating her like an afterthought. One day she stopped. No announcement, no drama, just silence. She pulled back, not to manipulate him, but to protect her energy. She started focusing on her goals, her body, her peace. And within weeks, he noticed the same man who used to leave her on red was now double texting, asking when he could see her. But this time she didn't just say yes. She paused. She asked herself, does he deserve a seat in my new world? That pause was her power. He sensed the difference. And from then on, he treated her like a woman he was afraid to lose. Another story came from a woman who had been in an on-and-off situationship for almost a year. Every time she tried to have the conversation, he'd avoid it or say he wasn't ready. She kept hoping he'd change, until the day she realized she needed to change. She stopped being available. She stopped answering late-night texts. She stopped engaging with someone who didn't know her worth. And instead of waiting for him to show up, she disappeared from his life entirely. No closure, no explanation, just distance. Months later, he resurfaced, not with a hey or a miss you, but with real questions. Where did you go? Are you seeing someone? Can we talk? The emotional shift was so strong, he could feel her detachment. That's the thing. When a woman stops seeking and starts radiating, her absence becomes louder than her presence ever was. It wakes men up. And sometimes it makes them realize too late what they let slip through their fingers. And there was the story of a woman who always felt like the second choice, the backup plan when things didn't work out with someone else. She always tried harder, gave more, stayed longer, until she stopped. She went quiet, focused on herself, rebuilt her boundary. 6 months later, the same man who never wanted commitment was watching her stories like clockwork, texting long apologies, trying to re-enter her space. But she was different now. She didn't want a man who needed to lose her to realize her value. She wanted one who could see it right away. These stories aren't about revenge. They're about revelation. When a woman chooses her high vibration over attachment, she shifts the entire dynamic. Men don't just notice it, they obsess over it. Not because she's playing a game, but because she finally stopped playing small. And that shit, it's available to you too, right now. It starts the moment you choose yourself completely and let the world catch up to your work. Raising your vibration instantly is less about what you do and more about what you choose to believe in the moment. It begins with awareness. The moment you catch yourself spiraling in low energy thoughts like doubt, jealousy, fear, or comparison, you've already activated the power to shift. The key is realizing that you're not stuck in that feeling. You're simply tuned into a frequency that no longer serves you. And with one conscious decision, you can rise above it. The first step to raising your vibration is to come back to the present. Anxiety lives in the future, and regret lives in the past, but power only exists right now. Ground yourself. Put your phone down, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel into your body. Ask yourself, what am I believing right now that's pulling me down? That question alone starts the reset. It interrupts the emotional autopilot and brings you back into alignment with your truth. Your vibration is deeply tied to how you speak to yourself. If your inner dialogue is rooted in criticism, you'll radiate insecurity. But if you begin to speak to yourself like someone you love, gently, encouragingly, intentionally, you will watch your energy transform instantly. Try this. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, say, I'm evolving every day. Instead of I always mess things up, say, I'm learning and growing, and that's powerful. Affirmations aren't magic. They're frequency shifters. And the words you speak to yourself are the first vibration the world feels from you. Another way to raise your vibration instantly is through movement. Emotion is energy in motion. When you feel heavy, stagnant, or uninspired, move your body. Dance to your favorite song. Go for a walk in nature. Stretch, jump, sway, whatever gets your blood flowing and your energy unblocked. The body holds on to emotional residue, and sometimes the fastest way to change your mood isn't to think differently, it's to move differently. Gratitude is another gateway to high vibration. It's impossible to stay in a low frequency when you're actively appreciating what you have. Even in your lowest moments, there's always something to be grateful for. Your breath, your strength, your resilience, your growth. Make it a ritual. List 3 things you're grateful for every morning or every time you feel low. It doesn't have to be deep, just real. The more you train your mind to see beauty, the more your reality reflects that beauty back to you. Finally, protect your energy. Your vibration is precious, and it's your job to keep it sacred. That means setting boundaries, saying no to what drains you, and being mindful of the environments and people you expose yourself to. You don't have to be perfect to be high vibrational. You just have to be intentional. When you decide, I am no longer available for what brings me down, everything begins to shift. People feel your glow. Your presence becomes lighter. You attract differently, speak differently, feel different. The truth is, you're not far from your highest self. You're just one aligned decision away. And that decision, you can make it right now. Becoming emotionally untouchable isn't about shutting down or becoming cold. It's about mastering your internal world so deeply that external chaos can't shake your center. It's a calm confidence, a quiet power that radiates from within. When you reach this place, you stop reacting to mixed signals, hot and cold behavior, or someone's inability to choose you. You don't get emotionally tossed around because you've built emotional stability. That kind of power doesn't scream. It whispers through your grace, your silence, your boundaries, and your choices. Emotionally untouchable women don't chase closure because they understand the most powerful closure is peace with yourself. They don't wait around for a text to validate their worth or a man's attention to feel beautiful. They've risen above needing to be chosen because they've already chosen themselves. That shift in energy is undeniable. People who once played games with her start to question why their old tactics no longer work. It's not that she became mean or distant, it's that she evolved. This level of emotional mastery allows you to engage from love, not fear. You give when it feels good, not to earn something in return. You walk away not to punish, but to protect your peace. You no longer react emotionally to people who don't value you, because you know your energy is not up for negotiation. You don't need to win anyone over. You're not playing. You're attracting, and that's a very different game. When you become emotionally untouchable, your aura shifts. Men treat you differently, not out of fear, but out of respect. They sense that your emotions are not easily swayed, that you won't crumble at inconsistency or bend at breadcrumbs. You don't demand love, you embody it. You don't seek attention, you magnetize it. You don't plead for effort, you inspire it. As this video wraps, remember, the breakthrough doesn't come when he changes. It comes when you do. When you stop needing to be everything for everyone and start being everything for yourself. When your vibration is grounded, your boundaries are clear, and your emotions are no longer determined by someone else's presence or absence. You become untouchable in the most beautiful way. Your next chapter begins the moment you stop reacting and start choosing. Stay soft, stay strong, stay elevated. That version of you, she's unforgettable.